I pulled this considerations for cloud-based EHR hosting, hospital CIOs and CTOs weigh in. So I'm hearing an awful lot of talk, of chatter, of webinars, of different health systems exploring this. We're hearing of an Epic in Azure instance actually going for DR. We're also seeing Epic workloads on AWS, or at least, let me rephrase that. I don't know of anyone running Epic workloads in AWS yet, but I do know that AWS is doing webinars on putting Epic workloads in AWS. We know that Cerner workloads in AWS is happening because Cerner signed the big deal with AWS. And I just asked, what are your thoughts on this? Great quote in here. Jeff Alport, the former CIO at Valley Presbyterian Hospital, recently retired, made this comment: other industries identify their core values that they bring to the market, and everything they do is in service to that. A lot of wisdom in that statement, by the way. What is your core business? What do you bring to the market? Why are you going to the cloud? What does this enable you to do in going to the cloud? And Jeff makes this distinction between large health systems and community hospitals. He says, for community hospitals, I think it's hard from a sustainability perspective to find a reason to host anything. That's anything. He's saying it's hard to host anything. And think about it from a community hospital perspective, you're running a lean ship. I mean, cost is probably your number one driver. If cost is your number one driver, then running Meditech is your lowest cost EHR. You could run Meditech in the cloud, but do you want to commit to those ongoing costs, right? So you're going to have an ongoing monthly cost, or do you just want to set it up in your data center, buy those servers with some capital dollars, and then run that stuff really as long as you possibly can? That has been proven to be one of the lowest cost routes to go. And Jeff makes that distinction. He also goes on to say large systems and integrated delivery networks, however, may have different requirements and greater need to manage locally. And I'm a proponent of the cloud, but primarily for agility, right? Being able to do things rapidly, respond rapidly, like to say a pandemic, or to new reporting requirements, or to stand up AI capabilities or machine learning capabilities, to integrate in ways that you weren't able to integrate before. There's an awful lot of reasons to go to the cloud. Most of them are around agility, the ability to do things that you couldn't normally do. But I often have to warn health systems about two things. One is cost. There's an ongoing cost of moving to the cloud, and for some health systems, that cost is not sustainable. The second thing I have to warn them about is lock-in, right? So to avoid lock-in, you have to put the right architecture in place, which is some sort of abstraction layer so that you can move it from one cloud to the other. If you don't put that abstraction layer in, you're going to end up with a contract that's similar to your EHR contract. We don't switch EHRs every 3 years or 5 years because new features have come out in the other EHR. If you don't do this right, you're not going to be able to switch your cloud provider 3 or 5 years from now either. So architecture around lock-in is really important. And I'm just wondering, we now live in an era where EHR workloads, which are traditionally done locally, are now being advertised and capabilities being brought to market where we can run those EHR workloads in the cloud. And I'm wondering what your health system is thinking around that. Now, this one hasn't gotten enough time to really get too many comments out there, but I'm curious if you have some comments. That is out there on LinkedIn. Love to hear your comments. What are you thinking? Are you thinking are we in that era of cloud first?